Hey everybody, today I'm going to talk to you about how you can make sure that you're saving money with your accountant. Hey, listen, I like to save money just as much as the next person, and so today I want to talk a little bit about how you can make sure that you can save money with your accountant to make sure that you are getting the biggest bang for your buck. Now, one of the things that I always tell my clients when they come in, when they like to do their accounting themselves, the one thing that I like to make sure that they're doing is they understand how to do the basics. So for many of our clients, if they want to tackle the accounting themselves, I always offer for them to sit down with our accounting specialist just for maybe one consulting session to make sure they know how to do the basics. That would be like invoicing, and so sending out bills, collecting money, reconciling the bank account, which is basically making sure that everything that's happened in your business is included in the file. And so if you'd like to do it yourself, I would always recommend that they sit down and do that so that we can be sure that when we get to the end of the year, we're not inheriting a mess. Because I can tell you from a CPA standpoint, if you think your books are clean and you take them into your CPA to do the taxes and you find out that you were doing a bunch of stuff wrong, many times it actually costs you more money than if you just had them do it in the first place. So if you're going to do it and you don't feel 100% confident in some of the basics, make sure you sit down and do that training. Now, if you don't necessarily love the accounting and you're just kind of doing it because you feel like you're supposed to, for my clients, I like to make sure that I offer them a chance to have us come in either monthly, quarterly, sometimes even just semi-annually, to make sure that we're keeping the books clean throughout the year so that when we do get to tax season, it's not a guess on whether you made money. It's not a guess on how much you're going to owe in taxes, because that to me is the biggest value of an accountant, of a CPA, is to make sure you're making business decisions and budgeting decisions off of the right information. So make sure that if you're going to pay someone, make sure that you have them sit down fairly regularly so that you can be looking at the up-to-date information. When I say clean books, that means that every time you swiped your credit card, your debit card, every time you charge something to your bank account, all of those transactions are recorded in your financial statements. So the balance sheet is kind of a snapshot of your cash balance, of the assets you have, of the things that you owe money for and people you owe money to. And the profit and loss would be things like revenues, income that you bring in, and then all the expenses that went to running your business. And so when I say make sure you have clean books, it means to make sure that all those numbers are in the right spot on those financial statements, because at the end of the day, your tax return and the profitability of your company is going to be dependent upon those books being quote unquote clean. So when I say clean books, that's what I mean. The beauty of that is at the end of the year, when you go to do your tax return or you want to sit down with your CPA and do a little bit of consulting, if stuff is clean, if stuff is organized, the beauty of it is it saves you money on your CPA fees, on your consulting fees, because it does cost money to make sure that you have an expert that can talk to you about things. But if it's clean, instead of it costing $500 to $1,000 to have somebody come in and make all the entries necessary to get ready for your tax return, sometimes it might only take $100 or $200 of actual accounting, and then you're ready for your tax return. So that's another way to provide value, is if your stuff is organized, when you come into your accountant, it will save you on the accounting fees with your CPA. So one of the other things that I always like to tell my clients or ask them is I say, hey, what is the biggest pain point for you in your business? What keeps you up at night the most? And it's interesting because it's never the same thing. Sometimes you do get the same answers, but different things are hard for different business owners depending on what you're good at, depending on where you live, and those kinds of things. And so I like to make sure, and so when you're sitting down with your CPA, make sure that you're telling them the things that are the most frustrating. So just as an example, some of my clients will come in and they just say, I hate payroll. It's ongoing. I hate running payroll. And I say, great, we offer services for that. And oftentimes we can still give them control, and we just connect them with the right platform so they can still, quote unquote, run the payroll, but they don't have to worry about all the timely filings and those kinds of things. That's all taken care of for them on the back end. And that simple thing sometimes can change a business owner's experience. You know, if they just hated it and that's the thing they dread the most, there's solutions for that. And that can go on and on. That could be, I hate trying to track my guys when they're driving around. There's apps that can help you with that, with timekeeping, for reconciling, for collecting money, right? You don't go to work to work for free. When you perform a service, you want to make sure you get paid. And sometimes that's really annoying, to try to bird dog people and get paid. And so there are solutions for that as well. So when I say tell them what your pain points are, be very specific, because there's going to be a solution 9 times out of 10 that can make your life way better. And so to kind of follow up with that, when we figure out what those pain points are, one of the biggest things I feel like I can provide value with is I can give solutions to people to still make sure that they're in control, but at the same time, they don't have to worry about the things that they hate doing. And I find that most business owners do not like trying to track the numbers. They do not want to try to figure out how to get everything into a financial statement. When I say financial statement or a profit and loss or a balance sheet, many business owners either don't know what I'm talking about or they just don't care. They just want to know what the bottom line is. They want to know if they're being profitable and those kinds of things. And so there are solutions that can make that stuff super easy for owners and make sure that when you're spending your money on your accountant, that they're providing those things that are going to help you the most, save you the most money, and save you as many headaches as possible. Because let's face it, running a business is hard. It's a headache, it's stressful, it's risky in many cases. And so for me, I pride myself in making sure that I'm providing value to my clients. I don't offer services unless I think it's valuable. My job is not to see how many tax returns I can do. My job is not to see how many services I can just provide to collect money. Because if I'm not providing value, I don't charge them for things. And so that's what you should be looking for. Look for somebody that is on your side and somebody that wants to be with you along the way to help your business be successful. And that's what I love to do. So from what I've talked about, if there's things that, as I was talking about pain points and things that cause you to lose sleep or that you hate doing the most, and you want to know, hey, how can I improve? How can I do better? Please leave a comment below, and I'd be more than happy to do a future video on that, cover those things, answer your questions. That's what this channel is all about. That's what I want to do. And so if you do that, I will be happy to address those questions. So to sum it up, for me, I want to make sure that I dive in, I find out what the clients need, I provide solutions to those problems, those headaches, and make sure at the end of the day that, and I say this carefully, that they're happy to pay me. And I don't know that anybody is really happy to pay their accountant, but if you're doing it right, they can become your confidant, they can become your friend, they can become your support. And that is what I'm all about.